Lesson 12. Self-worth is your job. Confidence isn't knowing that people like you. Confidence is knowing you'll be fine if they don't. Brené Brown. You are lovable and you are worthy of love. You are. Even if you don't believe it or feel it yet, you can and you will. I was once that person. It is amazing to have those feelings back in your life. It makes you feel alive. I can show you how, and you do not have to sacrifice your soul to fit in. My first realisation, which I will never forget, was the International Coaching Institute in Australia, and one of the exercises, and it was by Zoom, but it was such a powerful moment, was when we were put into breakout rooms. And if you are not familiar with this term, it means that you are virtually put in a room with a group or 2 or 4 people that the computer randomly selects from the attendees of the course. Within 5 to 10 seconds, the other person or persons appear on the screen, so you can talk to them. This was a 2-person exercise, and I had the pleasure of meeting Michael. The exercise involved taking a turn for 2 minutes each, staring into the other person's eyes without talking, just looking into their eyes, then telling them what you saw. Did you see sadness, playfulness, dullness, etc.? You were literally staring into the person's soul. Michael and I had never spoken or ever met before in our lives, so I, for one, found this quite challenging. I went first. I have to say that staring into a stranger's eyes for 2 minutes and not speaking is quite an uncomfortable feeling. But this was a life-changing moment for me. Who would have thought? He said that he saw in my eyes playfulness, kindness, gratefulness. There was also some sadness, but mostly he saw a very loving, caring person. It took me a few seconds to register what he was saying. My mind was going, is he making this up, or is he just being nice? But then I was thinking, but why would he say that? I have never met him before. Then I started to feel. What I mean is, I started to feel the words that he said. I had been numb, shut down for so long. I started to feel hot. It was moving from my belly, up my body, through my torso, to my throat, which started to feel tight. Then my eyes started to well up with tears, and the tears began to fall, and my body began to shake. I was not expecting this reaction. Then suddenly, the time was over from this exercise, and we were regrouped all together again. Head trainer Matt asked for feedback from anyone that wanted to share. What did we discover? What did we feel? For me, I was trying to compose myself being in front of a whole lot of people on screen, and I didn't want to feel embarrassed crying in front of strangers, but I couldn't. Unbeknown to me and all of us, this was the whole purpose of the exercise. It was possible for some of us that this was the first time we had been feeling for the first time in years. What Michael had done is that he had looked into my soul, a complete stranger, and spoke his truth. He saw me for who I was. Those words set off a tidal wave within me. I sobbed for the remaining day whilst trying to listen to the rest of the course topic. Thankfully, there was no other exercises to do. Before the end of the session, Matt asked us again if we would like to share with the class any new learnings from that afternoon session. What did we discover? What changed within us? What did we learn? What did we feel? I might add, before the course started, Matt had said for us to get the most out of the course, we needed to lean in and really participate. Otherwise, what was the point of being there? He said, you'll be surprised what you learn about yourself if you're willing to fully participate. So I gathered the courage and pressed the virtual hand to acknowledge I wanted to share. I wasn't sure how I was going to speak, as I still felt shaky and tears were still coming. Why could I do this? Because I felt safe and free from judgment. Again, a first-time experience. I said that the exercise that involved looking into each other's eyes had a profound effect on me. It was like the first time I had been seen as Wendy, not as a mum, not as a daughter, not as a wife, as a person who wasn't bad, who was kind, and I started really crying again. Matt said, "I see you and just let me go." He didn't rush me, he just validated my pain. He then thanked me for being vulnerable and sharing this with the group. Then when I looked at the comments on the screen, I had nothing but kindness and love from the group, who thanked me for sharing, because it also helped them feel that they were not alone. This was the beginning of my journey to really healing. And guess what? I didn't die from embarrassment. I didn't have people mock me for being overly sensitive. I wasn't told I shouldn't be feeling this way. I was met with love, kindness, and understanding. I'm not going to say that I wasn't uncomfortable, because I was really uncomfortable. But this is how we grow. The lesson is that the uncomfortableness paid off. Why did I share this with you? Because if we want to change, it requires courage. The fear will always be there. We have to master that fear. As Matt says, change only happens when we change. Things only happen when we make it happen. We don't always get the love and understanding from our source figures, the people in our life that we expect to get it from. Remember, you can't give what you don't have or you don't know. Just because we weren't nurtured or loved the way we needed to be, or felt loved or worthy, doesn't mean you are not worthy of love. It takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. This is the wonderful thing about the brain. Its capacity to change and adapt to our individual world. This is called neuroplasticity. Dr. Perry explains how this works in his book, What Happened to You? The brain changes in a use-dependent way. A key principle of neuroplasticity is specificity. In order to change any part of the brain, that specific part of the brain needs to be activated. So the question is, are you living a life that lights up your soul from the inside out? Are you in a job that gives you purpose, or are you living your life to seek approval from your parents or your peers? If you stay bonded to your parents and your old belief system about yourself, and you don't separate from the family rules or systems, you never become your true self. You go to your death never knowing who you are. Do you believe you deserve to live a life that is in alignment with the person you are? The only way that we can find out that we are wrong about ourselves is to risk exposing ourselves to someone else's examination. When we trust someone else and experience their love and acceptance, we can then begin to change our beliefs about ourselves. We learn that we are not bad. We learn that we are lovable and acceptable. Growth requires a little bit of discomfort and sometimes pain. If we do not grow because of someone else's love, it is generally because it is a conditional form of love. True love is positive. It allows us to be whole and accept all parts of ourselves. Start with what matters to you. Are you exhausted, isolated, anxious, not sleeping well? What are you running from? What are you hiding from? Are you living up to someone else's expectations? Or are you using busyness in life to distract you from what you really need to attend to? Really attend to your needs that you have denied or someone else has denied for so many years. When we are loved unconditionally, accepted just as we are, we can accept ourselves just as we are. Wholeness is the mark of mental health. If you can't be you, then who are you? A poem by Ralph Emerson. This is my wish for you. Comfort on difficult days, smiles when sadness intrudes, rainbows to follow the clouds, laughter to kiss your lips, sunsets to warm your heart, hugs when spirits sag, beauty for your eyes to see, friendships to brighten your being, faith so that you can believe, confidence for when you doubt, courage to know yourself, patience to accept the truth, love to complete your life.